talk about some personality traits that will assist you in becoming a lawyer in Canada. And when I was a student, when I moved here, I can assure you that I had none of these traits, and I have learned them over the years. And these personality traits have really benefited me in my personal as well as professional life. So I'd like to share them with you. First personality trait that I think everyone should have is being consistent. Now, I know that you probably have heard this from different sources or different people, but especially in this context of being a foreign trained lawyer in Canada, when you move here, you realize that there are so many different things that you need to do. And things are not going to go the way that you planned all the time. There are NCA exams, which are the requalification exams that you need to take. Then you have to take the bar exams. Then you have to find articling position. And then after that, you have to apply to the Law Society to get licensed. And then following that, you have to find a job so that you can start making money. And there are so many steps that you need to take. And there are going to be times where things are not going to work out for you. And if you are consistent, no matter what happens, right? You fail an exam, no problem. You are sad and you are angry for a bit, but you get up and you do it again. You don't find an articling position. The employers are not willing to hire you. No problem. You feel rejected, you feel sad, but you get up and you're like, okay, what's next? And I'm not denying that, it is very hard to settle in a new country. It is very hard to start from scratch. But at the same time, if you want to become something and you plan on requalifying as a lawyer, this personality trait will really, really help you. One of the things in my journey, something that I've noticed, is there were many setbacks. So for example, I didn't get the job that I wanted, or I didn't land the position that I thought was my dream job. And I would always think that this is permanent. Rejection is permanent, and I'm always going to feel like this. But over time, I realized that, it's okay to feel bad about rejection. It's okay to feel like, oh, I'm not good enough because I'm not getting a job, or I'm not passing an exam. But at the same time, if you're consistent no matter what, you do end up where you want to be. And that sounds as cliched as it can get, but it is true. Any kind of work that you put in consistently will reward you one day or the other. And one of the things that I like to think now is that, okay, well, things are not working out the way that I want to. No problem. Let's move on. What's next? What is it that I can do today to make tomorrow better? This is not for me. No problem. Goodbye. Let's move on to what is for me. And so being consistent, no matter how many rejections you faced, if you feel like because you're not getting work or you're not treated well because you're a foreign trained lawyer, you don't want to be associated with people like that anyway. So you move on to something where your goals are more aligned, people are more aligned. And so try to be consistent. I try to remind this to myself too. Sometimes I'm not because I'm human. And so are you. So it's important, and it's something that will help you. But at the same time, if there's a point in your life where you're unable to be, it's okay to take a break. It's okay to fall down for a bit, but then you get up and you go back at it. The other personality trait that I feel like is important, some people may disagree, some people may agree, but when you move to a new place, things are very different than what you're used to. You may feel certain things a little bit more because you're new and you are having new experiences. And sometimes it's important to have thick skin. An employer doesn't like you because of the fact that you went to a foreign law school. Okay, no problem. I'm going to move on to the next one. And this will happen to you because it has happened to every foreign lawyer that has come to Canada and has applied for jobs. So if you start taking things like, oh, this person didn't think that I'm good enough or I'm not professional enough because I didn't have a foreign degree, you're kind of putting negative energy in yourself. That's what I think. So having a thick skin and taking things for just what they are and thinking, well, this employer is not willing to hire a foreign lawyer. Okay, well, obviously it feels bad, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't talk about it or you didn't speak about it. You should. But at the end of the day, you are responsible for your career, not the person who didn't hire you. So it's, if you are rejected based off the fact, or if you feel like you're not given opportunities because of the fact that you're a foreign lawyer, or because you lack certain whatever it is that the employer wanted, understand it and then move on. I spent a lot of time dwelling into things. Oh, why didn't I get that? If I just did this correctly, maybe I could have just gotten that. Or maybe if I spoke this way where I presented myself as though I had enough knowledge about this job, I would have gotten it. But to be honest, now that I look back at it, it wasn't that. It's just that some employers are not interested in hiring those kinds. Some employers are, and it's better to focus your energy where you are wanted and you are desired. So again, I'm not saying having a thick skin in the sense like take shit from people. That's not what my intention is here. My intention is that if someone is not willing to help you out, or because of the fact that you are an immigrant and you are a foreign trained lawyer, okay, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm going to move on to the next one. The last thing that I'd like to say, and this is easier said than done, something that I have struggled with the most, and I still do. Sometimes, we're humans, we take things personally. And I'm not saying that, again, it's not to say if someone's treating you bad or if there's a toxic workplace, you should always speak up. Sometimes it's important to not take things too personally. At the end of the day, it is business. And, certain work environments are for you, certain are not. You will thrive in certain environments where you want to be. In other environments, you won't. And if you don't get the opportunities in those kind of environments, it's nothing personal. It's just how businesses work and how the society works in Canada. If you work better in a slow-paced environment, and you work better in places where there are no strict deadlines, you don't want to be working at a fast-paced law firm. And if you do end up working at a fast-paced law firm, it doesn't work out. It's nothing personal. It's what the business requirement is. Or if you're used to working in a place where you're always supervised and somebody needs to tell you what to do or what not to do, then in a place where you don't have that much supervision, you may not thrive in that environment. You can learn. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that sometimes it's more about the business as opposed to you. Sometimes people, in terms of hiring, they don't have the budget to hire you. Maybe they love you, but corporate culture or like corporate environment, there's no budget. So the more you understand that the decisions that employers make are more to do with them and not you, the more happier you're going to be. Because you're going to remain the same. Of course you can improve your skill set. Of course you can learn more. But employers will see the good in you, the employers that really want to. And those who don't, you don't want to be there. If there's anything else that you'd like to share, I am only sharing from my experience, and I'm open to listening to what other people have to say. If you do, please write them down in the comment section below, and I would love to read it.